Hi, thanks for joining me. This is Angie at Chicken Scratch, and this is the project we're making today. Okay, so this is week 12 of the 12 weeks of Halloween. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. And to make this project, you're going to need one sheet of 12 by 12 paper. And I've got that right here. For this section right here, you're going to need two pieces that measure 1 15/16 by 4 3/4. Then you're going to need some Very Vanilla for the image right here, and then a spiderweb doily. Now, before I make this project, I just want to tell you I'm sorry that they have been on back order, but you still want them because during Christmas you can use this as a really beautiful snowflake. So if you get them after Halloween, you can still use them. They're really pretty, and you can cut them, cut this circle out. Okay, so I wanted to show you a couple other options. If you don't have the Witch's Night stamp set, you could use this image. This is another one that I've started to use. Or you could go back to like using the little owl, or big owl, whatever you want to call him. And I was thinking that would be cute if he was standing on the boo. Anyway, I'm using the Witch's Night. Okay, so I'm going to get out the Simply Scored scoring tool. Going to place it on here, and I'm going to score it at 4. Let me make sure you can see the ruler. 4 and 8. And then I'm going to turn it and score it at 4 and 8 again. You do want your bone folder for this project. So I'm just going to fold it on the score lines. Garnishing it with the bone folder. It looks like I scored that one a little crooked. I must have not had it all the way to the edge. Okay. Now what you're going to do is get your ruler and stylus. Now this is the ruler I use sometimes, and I've had several people actually ask me where I got this. Listen, I am so sorry. I have no clue. When I saw it wherever it was, I saw the big huge letters. I was like, yes, I have to have that. I don't have a clue of where I got it, so I am so sorry about that. Okay, now what we're going to do is take the Stampin' Mat, the ruler, and the stylus, and we're going to place our ruler in the corner, on all 4 corners, and we're going to score. Don't press too hard, especially if you're going to be using the Stampin' Mat. Using the Stampin' Mat makes it a little bit easier. And again, we're doing this in all 4 corners. I'm using a gentle touch, but going over it several times just to make sure, because if you don't get these right, your bag or box, whatever it is, just does not assemble as easily. And this is one of those containers that you can put, you know, a handful of candy in the bottom. Okay, now that we've got all the corners, you can fold them in just like that. Now we're going to go to our middle section. Now let me give you a little tip here. If you want your Halloween face to be going up, because if you look at mine, it's going sideways. What you want to do is make sure that the next step that you work on the square that's going sideways and not the square that's going up and down, okay? Because that means the sideways is going to go on the side. That's the way you can remember it, sideways, side, okay? So we're going to take a pen and our ruler, and what we're going to do is make a tick mark. Whoops, come back here. Right at the 2-inch mark. And we're going to do this on both sides, so parallel to each other. I think that's the right word, parallel. Okay, now we're going to take our ruler and our stylus again. We're going to line up the tip of our ruler to that corner and then line it up with this tick mark here. And hopefully I'm not sticking my head in the camera. Ooh, I missed my tick mark just a little. It'll be fine. Now I'm going to go to the other side of it. So ruler right there, tick mark right there, and I'm just going to score. Okay? Do the same thing on the other side. Just make sure you find your corner. And the last one, okay, we are done with the scoring. So now you can just fold on those lines. And if the paper has a really busy print, sometimes it's a little hard to see. Okay, there we go. I'm going to move the Stampin' Mat out of the way. The next step, you're going to, if you have a binder clip, it will make your life a lot easier. So what I'm going to do is fold that and clip it. That way it holds it together for me while I do the rest. So I'm just going to go to the side opposite of it. Oops. And do the exact same thing. So just fold that in and fold that in. And that's why I said, like, getting into those tips is really important, because if you don't, it might be a little bit crooked, but even if it's crooked, it'll still be okay. Mine's a little messed up in that corner, but not that big of a deal. So look, you can see that the little faces are going up. So again, remember, score on the sides. The side is the side. Whatever I said earlier. Okay, so that's going to hold this together while I get the rest of the stuff ready. So I've got those two pieces of black cardstock. I already gave you the measurement. So what I'm going to do is place them, well, let's back up a second. Let's use the Ornate Tag Topper Punch and make them pretty. Then we'll emboss them. Okay, so now I'm going to place them in the Woodland something embossing folder. And I want to make sure that the limbs are going up to where my hole is. So I'm actually placing them in here upside down. I'm sorry, I still have a squeaky voice. I went to 2 of the World Series games this week, and yeah, both games it rained. Okay, so Big Shot. And I'm going to use the multi-purpose platform. I'm using, what is this? Tab 1. 2 cutting pads, so one there, and then one on top. And then I'm going to roll it through. I am going to be using the Big Shot again in just a minute, but let's get this part done first. Okay, so we can bring our little thing back over. Now we could go ahead and attach this, but I'll go ahead and stamp and get that part done. So we're going to stamp the top of this, and I'm going to get my Stampin' Mat real quick. I'm going to use the flip side of when I created this. Okay, that one I'm going to cut out with my 3/4 inch circle punch. I'm going to clean my image real quick. Okay, so I'm just going to use a baby wipe, especially on these photopolymer sets. That way I know I'm getting it nice and clean. Okay, now we're going to ink it up using the Memento ink. These larger images, it's easier to ink them upside down. And then now stamp it. Okay, we're getting the Big Shot again. This time we're using the Lots of Labels framelits. This is one of my favorites. The magnetic platform, a cutting pad, and we've got our image right here. So I'm just going to line up the framelit. Hopefully that's straight. And then another cutting pad. Here's our image. Okay, so now we're going to pop up the 31 with a dimensional. Now I did get my basic gray ink pad. So on this one, I did not do any sponging. I kept it all nice and clean. I'm going to sponge this one so that way the people that really love sponging can see what it would look like with the sponging. I go back and forth on sponging, so on some projects I love it and on others I don't, but it definitely makes it more Halloween-y. Okay, now let's get our bag back, and we're going to be using the Tangelo Twist ribbon along with the silver cord. And this is the point where I'm going to say, go ahead, head over to my website, leave a comment to enter the kit to make this project. You will, of course, get it after Halloween, but you can always use it next year. Or you can do like me and have shelves lined with all your pretty so that you can look at them all the time. My husband swears one of these days he's going to get rid of all my samples. Okay, I want to decorate this side because the faces are upright on this side. They're upside down on that side. So this is the front. And I'm also choosing like which one of these strips is the best looking one. They both kind of look the same, so. And I'm just putting it in the middle. See? Okay, now we're going to take the Tangelo Twist striped cotton ribbon. Oh, and I had someone suggest one day that I just create a page for all the winners. So Laura and I are going to do that. We're not sure if we need to go back and post some old winners or if we should just start fresh once the 12 weeks of Halloween is over. Because we do have the 12 days of Christmas that's going to be coming up in November. Okay, so I'm just tying a bow. That was an awesome suggestion. Okay, come on. And then trim. Okay, so now we'll just clean up the ribbon. Okay, that looks pretty good. I could fiddle with it all day long. So now for your spiderweb doily. Again, if these arrive after Halloween, if you've ordered them, I'm sorry they went on back order so quickly, but you can use them for Christmas. Just turn them over. In fact, I'll make sure that I show you a project or two doing so. And now this project's just, or this piece, this image, oh, I can't find my words this morning. I've told everyone, I still have a baseball hangover. Postseason is, I've only missed one game in postseason, and that was several weeks ago. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is center it over that black piece right there, if you're wondering. Okay, so this one is sponged, this one is not. Which one do you like best? Actually, I think I like the sponged one myself. Okay, have a happy Halloween, and thank you so much. Bye.